journalist in Gaza. She'd been taking pictures and recording what was happening in Gaza for the last 18 months. She was actually featured in a documentary. It was actually supposed to be great news. Happened just a couple of days ago. That documentary, Put Your Hand on Your Soul and Walk, got accepted to the Cannes Film Festival. Unfortunately, the IDF found out about that, so they murdered her and her entire family. 10 people in all, including her pregnant sister. Fatima was also set to get married in a couple of days. They dropped a bomb on her house and killed everyone inside, although I believe her parents are in very critical condition at whatever health facilities remain inside Gaza. By the way, the pro-life movement so far hasn't said a word about 15,000 children massacred, slaughtered in Gaza. So I guess they don't care about lives at all. They don't care about children at all. They don't care about babies at all. And by the way, I said 10 lives, but I mean, if you're pro-life, you should certainly think that was 11 lives if, her sister was pregnant. And one thing that Fatima asked for, and part of why I'm doing this video is, she said that if Israel ever kills her, which every reporter in Gaza knows that Israel might murder you, and I don't use the word murder lightly, they seem to very obviously be doing it on purpose. So, if you're still using Israel's excuses, we'll come back to that. It's really sad, pathetic, really. And it's so brazen what they're doing. I'll come back to all that. But is it murder when you drop a bomb on a person who was documenting what was happening in Gaza? Oh, accidentally, right after the film got accepted to the Cannes Film Festival. Look, if you're biased in favor of Israel, you'll believe anything, right? So, but people who aren't just massively on Israel's side, everyone else knows that's total BS. And is it also an accident that Israel has murdered more journalists than in any other conflict in recorded history? Now, obviously, we weren't recording things during the Mongol era, and there weren't many reporters there, etc. But overall, is that a true fact that since they've been recording journalists killed in conflicts, Israel has killed more journalists than any other nation on earth? Yes. Russia, with its brutal murder and treatment of its journalists, still can't lay a glove on Israel for how brutal they are and how much they murder journalists. Did you know that Israel has murdered more journalists in this conflict than all other conflicts on Earth in the last year combined? So, okay, they say, oh golly gee, we're the worst military in the world. We're just a bunch of Keystone cops, are totally incompetent. We accidentally murdered tens of thousands of civilians and more journalists than any other conflict, more human rights workers than any other conflict. Golly gee, the IDF is the most incompetent military in the world. Oh, everything is collateral damage. There was one Hamas guy left. So we decided to kill 30 people in the area, 50 people in the area. Oh, look at those sniper shots from hundreds of yards away that American doctors documented. Oh, right, there they are. Murder, murder, murder. Oh, no. Oops, it was all an accident. No, it wasn't. The only people who believe that are so deeply biased. They just want to protect Israel because of connections that they have, feelings they have from the past. But let's get real about what Israel has become now. If you still think Israel is the victim, that their poor little David, and that at any moment they could be crushed. Look, I understand why you thought that in the past. I understand why you thought that when Israel was formed. I understand that you thought that in 67 and 73. I understand the trauma the Jewish people across the world have gone through for a millennium now. But right now, as things stand, that is clouding your judgment if you still support Israel and you're still defending these monstrous actions. You're letting that cloud your judgment as to the current day events. In the current day, Israel is Goliath. It has now invaded several of its neighbors. It occupies a giant part of Gaza. And when we told you that this was not about self-defense, this was about land acquisition, what did the supporters of Israel say? Anti-Semitic tropes, you're not allowed to say that. Okay, now they are doing it. They're occupying half of Gaza. They're occupying parts of Syria and southern Lebanon. So, okay, what are you going to say now? I know what you're going to say. You're going to say the same excuse that every imperial empire uses. Oh, we were just doing it for self-defense. We're the victims. We were just trying to protect our own people when we took over Poland and Sudetenland. And I don't mean to use just that example. When the Ottoman Empire did it to take over Eastern Europe and Middle East, etc. So I know everybody's stuck in their own tribes. And so I'll get online, all these things. Oh, yeah, the Turks did that before. Yeah, of course they did. You know why? Because they're humans, and so are the Israelis. But what I would love for the Israelis to realize is that the Palestinians are also human beings. And there's no way in the world that they recognize that. And don't lie to me and pretend that the Israeli government treats Palestinians like they're human beings. If any other entity had slaughtered 15,000 Israeli children, and that's at a bare minimum, Israel would have declared war and maybe nuked that country. But when Israel itself kills 15,000 children, slaughters them, oh, no big deal. Who cares? They're just Palestinians. Hamas made us do it, human shields, and the same exact excuses that every empire has ever given. We were just protecting ourselves. October 7th, that was literally years ago. We're in the year 2025. That was in the year 2023. And if it wasn't about land acquisition, why are they occupying all those places? And you're telling me that they accidentally killed more journalists than every other conflict combined? The only people who could possibly believe that are people so enormously deluded by their background, by their previous beliefs, etc. But the whole rest of the world is sick of these monstrosities. Jesus Christ, this 25-year-old girl and her entire family, and they murdered her. And no, it's not anti-Semitic to say the things that are true. Okay, the proposition of the Israeli supporters is, oops, what a coincidence. Right after she shows the whole world what's happening in Gaza, the IDF happens to kill her and her entire family, like they happen to kill all those other journalists, all by accident. And by the way, a lot of those journalists were headshots, snipers hundreds of yards away. So how about Shireen Abu Akleh, an Palestinian American journalist assassinated by the IDF? And even the U.S. government, deeply biased in favor of Israel, admits that she was killed by the IDF with a sniper shot. So don't tell me they don't murder journalists to cover up their war crimes, because that's a stone-cold fact. They absolutely positively do. Israel has become what it most feared and despised. It warned about fascism, and look at where they are now. It warned about terrorism, and look at where they are now. When you kill 50 times the number of innocent civilians as Hamas, you might be terrorists. When you kill over 400 times the number of children as Hamas, you might be a terrorist. So that's the reality of this. I saw in Coachella, they put up a sign on a giant billboard, F Israel, Free Palestine, and everyone there roared in approval. If you wanted to drive hatred towards Israel, and by the way, if you wanted to wrongly drive up anti-Semitism, this is exactly how you would do it. By murdering your opponents, forcing America to give you endless billions of dollars to murder people, to commit endless war crimes, to occupy their land and take more and more Palestinian and Arab land. So everyone has to rise up. No more, don't spend $1 in Israel. Don't ever go to Israel. Don't ever spend $1 buying Israeli products. All the world has to do what we can. And so to come back to Fatima and what she asked for, she had a very simple ask. She said, if and when Israel murders me, can everyone please be loud about it? Don't just let me become a statistic. So it's incumbent upon me, and it's incumbent upon all of you to not let Fatima become a statistic. So tell your representatives, whether you're a Democrat or Republican or independent, I'm sick of giving money to slaughter innocent human beings. I hate it. And that's not what America is supposed to stand for. So for God's sake, stop Israel. On behalf of the Palestinians, on behalf of the world, but also on behalf of America, we're morally culpable for financing this slaughter. I don't want my tax dollars going. They take money out of my check and your check to murder those Palestinian kids. I can't stand it anymore. And no decent human being should be able to stand it anymore. So for Fatima, please fight back through rhetoric and politics and diplomacy, and let's get to peace.